So we're going to be setting up some of our non-ProLink equipment today using our Raspberry Pi headless connectivity modules. I'm going to go through and show how those are set up. And we've got 5 pieces of equipment that were added to the production server today. We've got an air compressor, cooling tower fan, and 3 pumps, each of which is going to have 3 24-volt DC outputs that we will wire into our headless connectivity modules. So what we want to do is start by turning the rocker switch to the off position, which would be the little circle with the rocker switch towards the bottom of the case. I'm going to turn that switch off, which is actually going to turn our Wi-Fi connection on for this unit. And we're going to want to find that here. So it's going to be called status reporter setup. We do have one that's called Pi Net. The rest of them are all set up as status reporter setup. We're going to want to connect to this Wi-Fi. You can do this with your phone, with a computer. Certainly doing this on a computer is going to be much easier for copying, pasting things like machine keys. Okay, so once we're there, what we're going to do is go to configure.com. And that's going to take us to this setup screen that you see here. And the way that these modules are set up is that there are 4 slots inside that can hold optocouplers, 2 of which are reserved for core functionality of the unit. And then we have 2 that can be used for inputs. Each slot has the capacity to take in 4 inputs, DC inputs in this particular case. You can do AC. There's lots of different options there. But essentially we have 8 inputs total that we can work with, up to 4 machines, depending upon how many inputs are required. So in our case, we're only going to use 2 machines per connectivity module because we have 3 inputs that are required. So I have a document here that details out the different machine names, machine keys, serial numbers, etc. that are used. And with this connectivity module, the real important thing that we want to make sure that we get is the machine key, the machine number, the computer name. Those just need to match in LabLINK and here. Obviously this isn't a computer, so the computer name is almost irrelevant. It just needs to match in both this connectivity module setup configuration as well as on the LabLINK side. Same thing with machine number. Now machine key is obviously going to be unique. So I'm going to set up the cooling tower pump 1 and pump 2 up on this particular connectivity module that we're looking at here. So I'm going to start off by copying the computer name, and I'm going to place that in both machine 1 and machine 2 here. And I'm going to go back and take a look at the machine number. So we have CT pump 1, CT pump 2. Then I'm going to go and obtain the machine key, which was generated inside of LabLINK when the administrator set these machines up. I'm going to set that up there, and I'm going to get the final one here. Okay, and then we need to provide the LabLINK server URL, which in this case okay. So I'm going to click Save on both of these. I'm not completed with my work yet, but what we can do is now we want to set up which inputs we're going to use. So we've got a power, running, and faulted. So the first slot that you're going to see in this that's available for us to use for our inputs is actually going to be the 3rd slot inside of the module. This will make sense when I show you the photos here. But we've got module 1 and module 2. So I mentioned we have 8 inputs available to us. You're going to see module 1, 0 is going to be the first 2 inputs. So that's going to be labeled as ports 1 and 2 on the terminal strip. And then 1 will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. And then this will be the next optocoupler module, inputs 1 through 4, or labeled as 0 through 3. So we're going to pick for the first one here, module 1, input 0, 1, and 2. We don't need a fourth. And then for the second machine, we will start with module 2. Okay, and you can mix and match them if you want. In my mind, this will just be a little bit cleaner way to do it. So we're going to hit save. Hit save on both of these. So now you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner here we have this machine statuses and cache. Right now there are 0. So right now there have been no machine change states that need to be uploaded to LabLINK. And you'll notice as I just said that we actually have 2 state changes now. What you can also do is go to inspect.com. And this is also requires that you're connected to the Wi-Fi of the Raspberry Pi connectivity module. And you'll be able to see here basically, module 1 and 2, you can see the places that we've assigned something. So 0, 1, and 2 are assigned here, 0, 1, and 2 are assigned here. And then the rest of these are being used for core functionality. So you can see what the active value is right now. And if I apply a DC voltage to one of these, we should be able to see that change. Okay, so now I'm going to use a 9-volt battery. I'm going to apply some DC signal to terminals 1 and 2 on the first available input module that we have here. And you'll notice as soon as I do that, you'll see the active value as well as the status change. You'll also notice towards the bottom of the screen we actually have one of our outputs is actually changing, and so there's 4 LEDs on the front of the box, and machine states will actually change what you see displayed there for the LED status. So as I'm basically powering this machine up, I'm actually seeing that light LED illuminate. You'll also notice that there are the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the face of the optocoupler. And as you'll see when I apply voltage there, you will see the number 1 light up. It's important to note these are not polarity sensitive, at least on these DC input modules. So where the power and ground is hooked, as long as it's on pins 1 and 2, does not matter. Now once we have this configured, we can go ahead and turn the Wi-Fi connection off. I don't believe that's required. And then we're going to want to hook a local area network cable to the port on the front of the box, and as long as we're configured and able to talk to the LabLINK server, then we will actually see these machines change state.